since World War II, the industries here in the mountains, in the Appalachian Mountains, you know, was the coal industry. The coal industry provided enough energy to melt the iron ores when this coal was shipped up north to the industrial plants, and it kept us going here in the mountains, you know, for years and years and years up through Vietnam. So you had a period of time there from World War, a little bit World War I. They mined some coal in this country, you know, and got it shipped out of here something like. But then, you know, for some reason, you know, our people stayed here and worked in the mines and killed themselves, which was hard work, you know. I mean, man, going down to these mountains in the underground mines and stuff, and small coal, some bigger coal, and then we mined enough coal here, see, to provide enough energy to melt the iron ores that manufactured our war goods. If we have to fight, you know, no matter where we have to fight, but if we have to fight, well, you've got to have tools to do it with. It's like anything else. And so we could be speaking German or Japanese or Vietnamese or whatever, or something like that. And so everything that our people done through the Appalachian Mountains, our government has interfered with it for some reason, and things, you know, they have regulated it to such an extent that nobody can make a living here hardly in these mountains anymore. And so when the federal strip mine law was passed in 1977, all the coal operators had to be in compliance with that by April the 4th of 1978, and so we lost 28,000 jobs here through the Appalachian Mountains in less than a year that were livable wage-paying jobs, and those people then had no place else to go to work. Now we've got drug dealers. And any way that these people can do, you know, to make a living, they've been forced to it. I mean, and it's so sad. I mean, I knowed a lot of the people individually, you know, down through the years. It was the hardest working people that you ever could have hoped to have, you know, come in contact with. But then, all at once, you know, their jobs were took from them. And then I've been told, you know, well, so-and-so is raising drugs, you know, growing drugs. Everybody here calls it marijuana. I guess that's what it is, you know, and stuff through this country here. And I actually flew through this country once in a helicopter, and I could see more marijuana being grown here under the tops of these mountains than I seen tobacco down in the valleys even.
And what happened to the tobacco industry here?
For some reason, you know, they decided they wanted to go down into the South America, you know, where the big corporate groups owns their big plantations down there. They can grow 3 crops a year. And they took our own people from the state of Kentucky and taught those people down there how to grow the burley tobacco. And so now they've took the tobacco away from us. And so here I was a county judge executive, and their people can't even pay their property tax no more here in Clay County. And so how do you run a county government or any other county government without a little tax? I mean, you got to tax, governments don't make money. They just tax people and take it from them to start with. See?
And how is the fact of the national forest being in Clay County, how does that affect the local tax base?
When the national forest owns half of this county, then they pay no real property tax. And things, you know, like I do, I have to pay tax, and anybody else that owns private property has to pay tax. So the federal government eased in here and owns half of Clay County's real property now, and it's called the Daniel Boone National Forest. And once they buy it, well, it's pretty well locked up, and it's very little access do the people have to it from that point forward. And then our people have started, I guess, growing a lot of drugs, if they can, back in the mountains, you know, in the forest, because you've got such a huge forest here that they can grow, you know, illegal drugs and things, you know, in these mountains.
And so now you were trying to promote catfish farming.
Well, I was just trying to come up with some other kind of legal, something that we could do legal. We thought the coal industry was legal. We thought growing tobacco was legal. You know, all of our farmers, matter of fact, that tobacco barn right over there was built sometime in the early 40s. And my granddaddy hired a man from Tennessee to come to Clay County here and teach him. He actually raised 24 children. My granddaddy did. And so they taught him how to grow tobacco. He raised the first crop of tobacco in Clay County here for sale. My granddaddy. In the early 1900s there.
And now you're raising catfish.
And now we're trying to figure out how to use our land for something else, you know. And we're trying to grow some catfish. Yeah. And so it's we'll wake up one of these mornings and there'll be something wrong with that.
It's nice to talk to you, Judge. Thank you.
Well, sorry to have to report. I love my nation. I love my country. I love my state. I love my county. I love my people, you know. But we have actually some way got out of bounds.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.